Hi, I'm Erin, and you're watching the conversation about The Shepherd and the Sound by Presence Creative Arts, featuring Jason Hildebrand. The Shepherd and the Sound is a contemplative film, a slow, cinematic experience imagined from the life of David from the Bible. This is a spiritual story, the journey of one man and how he has heard the voice of the eternal, the sound, throughout his life. In each episode recorded throughout the film's release, we discuss how David's ancient story provides healing and comfort for the anxious and disconnected culture of today. Before we join the Presence Creative Arts crew, let's do one thing together. Let's take a breath in, hold, and breathe out. Are you ready? Let's breathe in, hold it, and breathe out slowly. We are so glad that you're here today. There is something for you here.
Good to see you,
Jason. Good to see you.
I'm glad we get to sit down and chat. I haven't
Yes.
seen you in a while. I was just reflecting on how we were all in very interesting places in our lives when we came together for the first time to shoot, and then
Yep.
again a year later when we came back. I guess it was close to a year later, second time. What was the kind of impact of being a part of this project on your life? And you know,
Yeah. I mean, I think it was timing wise, it was just over. Just over a year since my late wife had passed.
Yeah.
So that would have been August 6th of the 2022. So we were in
Yeah.
end of August 2023.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's such a beautiful and meaningful film, but also the location was beautiful. And, you know, I remember Tad's and your first trip over there checking out stuff and looking at locations and stuff. And there was some stuff that was, Tad was talking about. I forget who you guys were meeting with, but they were referring to some of the places around that John O'Groats as like a thin place.
Yeah.
A thin
that's
place,
right.
a place where the veil between, you know, our world and the spiritual world are closer.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and that really intrigued me on the idea of going over as well and being in that thing. And I had some experiences in the castle when we were filming and stuff too. So some kind of deeply kind of spiritual and moving, you know, things happen while there. So,
Oh yeah.
and it was a time where, you know, still, but very searching for things and stuff, and kind of belief always being there, but searching for more signs of things.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's like you were, in some ways, we were like all kind of trying to embody the thing we were shooting. Like it
Yeah.
was, I think the whole crew was like that. We were just trying to find our way through this story and allow our lives to kind of
Yeah.
be a part of that whole story.
yeah, and I think and like life and a lot of things just worked out. You know, some things were a bit challenging, some weather things, and some other, but otherwise things came together, and it was just kind of believing and trusting in that, and we kind of got everything done to like the last day kind of thing. And
very expediently, truthfully, you know.
Yeah.
Especially with the weather being so
the weather, we
insane.
lost a day at the beginning of the trip.
That's right.
With travel, and there was some luggage missing, so it was kind of like land and straight into it.
Yeah.
But
And didn't you guys get stalled the first? I think the
Yeah, we
first
were-
time over, it wasn't everybody sleeping at the airport the first.
we
day?
were delayed by. Our 7-hour flight was delayed by like over 6 hours.
Oh, that's
more
right.
than that. I think it
That's
was
right.
8 hours. So
And then missed the
we missed
flight
our
in
connection
London.
in London to Inverness, so they had to stay over in London. So we missed a whole day,
That's right.
which was supposed to be like a camera kind of prep day.
Oh yeah.
And so the next day was still going in to shoot, but there was, you know, me arriving at the castle at 8 p.m. and trying to do camera prep. It was a little stressful. But
One of the things that's, I think, a hallmark of the film is that we had a lot of these long shots because we were doing a lot
Yeah.
of kind of narrative storytelling, especially in the first shoot, and then we kind of cut some of that down and added some more scenes that lengthened or changed the dynamic of things.
yeah.
Talk about what it's like as a DOP to be like shooting these crazy long shots outdoors.
Yeah, there was lots of challenges to that. I mean, physically, holding the camera and stuff that long, and having, and then the terrain that we were filming on sometimes, whether, you know, it was a part of the scene with, you know, David and Goliath, that kind of part of the film where we're
in the water,
and then I'm walking backwards over rocks and stuff, so I have somebody guiding me to help me get through. A lot of stuff was like that, and same with on the side of the other castle there. I always say the name wrong. I call it
Bucoli.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Scapoli.
The Italian Scottish castle, Scapoli.
That's what it comes into my head. But that was just traveling around basically on the edge of the kind of the cliff and doing stuff.
Man.
And that was, I think, like a 5-minute take.
Yeah, that's.
And so when you do it and you try to do it, and there's a lot of things that you need to get. There's a lot of things that I need to get, and there's a lot of places where you can mess up, both of us, and then also weather changing, and, you know, sun being too bright, sun going behind the clouds, and then the take before was behind the clouds, and you know, and so lots of variables, and they just became, you know, these things that would take half a day to get, and you're shooting a 5-minute scene.
Yeah,
but
that scene,
they're fun to do as well. It's very challenging and different than a lot of stuff.
Yeah. That scene so there's a scene where it's right when Jonathan, he's recognizing Jonathan dies, and he has this epiphany that he is the king, and that Samuel had prophesied this, and Saul had seen it, but he hadn't really seen it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the king." But we had done this communication where I don't remember what got said, but the idea was that you were going to stop or something like. I don't even remember what it was, but all I know is I thought in my mind what it was supposed to be was like, I'm going to walk towards the camera and just keep walking. And I think you thought it was supposed to be the other way. So anyway, it ended up being like you had Jonah, who was one of our crew members, behind you, trying to navigate. You almost fell off the cliff, which is like
you kept coming towards us.
Four stories to your death.
Had no more room.
No more room, and I
for
just
us
kept
to move back. But you were just getting closer and closer.
And so you were holding the thing, and I had no idea you were that close to the cliff.
Yeah.
But it ended up being one of the best shots in the film. Like, it's just this beautiful shot. Mm-hmm. But luckily, no one died.
Yeah,
it's that radical. We had this joke on the set that I was like, just Scotland is radical common sense. There's no signs that say cliff here, avoid it. It's like if you fall off and die, you're a bit of an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
Yeah. Another scene that it was a long take too, which was, you know, getting the firewood, gathering that stuff up, and basically me and you were the only ones that were, because where the firewood was and you're grabbing it, and it was a pretty long take, was where all the midges were, which is these, if you don't know what midges, these tiny little mosquito type things.
Ninja mosquitoes.
They seem like they're harmless, but they bite, there's thousands of them.
Thousands.
And so Tad's not, you know, another part of the crew aren't in with the midges, but me and you are.
Yeah.
And they're wondering why we're freaking out in between takes.
I remember I had them all along my eyelashes.
If I was, anytime I was close to like quitting, that was the closest point by far. Easily. I wouldn't mind outside of a cliff, something like that. You know, sketchy roads getting places, but
we had this shot when I came that night, when I came back to the castle, which was where we were staying. I undid my jacket, and my whole arm, the sleeve underneath my sleeve was like midge bites. The whole thing was just covered in midge bites.
Well, because it was a couple-minute long scene, so both of us, you can't be swatting your face during the scene, and I can't be. I'm holding the camera, so they're just all over my face. So I think the last couple of takes, Jonah and who else? They basically swatted my face. You know, bugs off my face during the take, so because I was basically losing my mind.
Oh my!
And the next day I had
you had a head covering.
They had the bug net.
Bug
nets are
which was smart.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, there was a lot of great locations and stuff. I think the locations.
Yeah.
For the beauty of the film is just
stunning.
Yeah.
And the drone shots. I mean, some of the drone shots you got, especially the opening scene of the film, kind of riding above the clouds.
Real connection with the eternal inspires intentional creative expression that fills all voids, that repairs every trauma, and remembers true identity. When we create and when we consume, we can actually be restored. Don't go another year without making space for this. The Shepherd and the Sound film, immersive gallery encounter, community encounter. Bring transformative experiences to your community. Contact info@presencecreativearts.com. We look forward to connecting with you. We have made space for you.
Riding above the clouds where the sun is coming out. In fact, it was 9 o'clock at night, so the sun was going away.
It was later. I think that was 10 p.m. I mean, that was our first day back up in John O'Groats on the second trip.
That's right.
And it was in the spring this time, so the days were long. And you're far up north. You're parallel with Norway that far north. Yeah. And the sun had gone down, and there's fog started showing up. And Tad's like, I think we should go and shoot this. And I'm like, Tad, there's not going to be any light. There's no light. The sun went down half an hour ago. So no, there's going to be light. So we got there, and he was right. And then we ended up shooting all that stuff way later all the time, too, because the ambient light would stay around for over an hour.
Yeah, it was so gorgeous.
The golden hour. But also, and it was just luck. We went over there to see, and then the clouds on those, the stacks, and the way that they were running over it and all that, it was just
incredible.
We were like, we just arrived, and we're just like, let's just go out and try this. And they did a bunch of the scenes with you then as well by the water, and that is the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And
so good.
Yeah, I couldn't believe we could actually still see stuff when we got there. It's like, there's no way.
Yeah, and the drone comes through the clouds, and it's just this extraordinary landscape.
Yeah. And that location was the very first location we shot at the first trip.
That's right.
So I was stressed out. We got there, finally got to the castle, got everything done. Then we go to this first location. I hadn't been to it all yet and hadn't really seen northern Scotland all yet. And we walk out there, and it's you on the edge of the cliff there.
Edge of the cliff.
And it looks fake. Like, it looks like we're shooting on green screen if you look at some of the stuff, because the landscape is crazy behind you. A lot of, especially Isle of Skye, I would think, looked that way too.
Oh, man.
When you look at some of the shots, it's like, it looks like it's so crazy and beautiful. Mm-hmm. It almost is, some people would be like, that's got to be AI or something.
Yeah. I've had many people say, so this is all green screen, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
None of it's green screen.
Yeah,
so I mean, the interesting thing about our film is this: it's one guy. It's the story of one guy and really his internal emotional journey. But we had talked about from the beginning that we wanted kind of two other actors in the film. The one actor was the sound or the score, but the other actor was the landscape, and that David, like man versus nature kind of experience. And what was it like to try and frame and shoot, essentially a dialogue between the human actor and this wild, rugged landscape?
Well, I think yourself and Tad did such a great job initially on trips over there to kind of scout those locations and figure that stuff out. And then there was some stuff during the shoot when it just new places we found or different things, or just, we went to go shoot on Isle of Skye. It was one of the first days shooting on Isle of Skye as well. And then that was that crazy forest that had all the moss in it that we shot stuff and we made like a night scene. And that was just kind of walking through there on the way out and seeing that and seeing how that forest looked and starting to shoot stuff in there. So it was a bit of organic stuff, trying to get those things. Also, I think there's really no man-made structures in the film besides for ruins.
That's right.
And the castle.
Yeah, the one scene we shot in the basement of the castle.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no buildings. There's no roads.
Right.
There's trails.
Yeah.
There's and that was, I think, very interesting.
And void of all humanity, just David wandering with nature.
Which becomes easier in Scotland.
Does the further north you go, it becomes easier. Well,
and sheep haven't become a character.
That's true.
I think sheep had to become a character.
That's
There's
true.
just so many of them we couldn't. If we had to not have sheep in the film, it wouldn't have worked.
Although we were, the funny part was that, we were discussing previously, Tad and I, that we couldn't wrangle a sheep if our life depended on it. And initially, we had like hired a farmer to bring his sheep in, and then we were trying to push the sheep towards the actor for the whole thing. It didn't quite work. But then when we came back, we ended up being in a location where there was all these completely docile sheep, and I ended up being able to wander through, and the sheep were like, oh, that's fine. And we were just shocked that we found this area where the sheep were just, I could walk up to them and touch them almost.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was the idea that those different characters in the film and the landscaping one of it, just I love that style of shooting as well. So it became natural light, natural everything, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's been so fun to. I just love that. I think one of the things that you did so incredibly is that you were able to like create an expansiveness to the landscape and almost all of the things we shot. Like there's a feeling of, I mean, some feeling, there's moments of enclosure, but generally it's like you're watching the landscape of this guy's life and it's massive and you don't quite know how to comprehend it. And you did this great job of, building a frame for us, especially with the drone shots. And I mean, I think all the shots, and we had discussed earlier, like Tad and I had discussed on a previous podcast, that we were trying to create something where you could find yourself in the story. And I think the way you framed things and the expansiveness of the way you framed it allows the audience to really set themselves in that story as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think framing wise and stuff and lensing for this, I wouldn't say it was an overly wide lens used on the film, but it was not a telephoto. It was a 35 millimeter lens,
right,
which is a very classic and
which
is known as kind of like what is the human eye kind of sees and stuff, that things. But not a super, again, telephoto. There was some telephoto shots in there and longer lens shots in there, but not that many. I would say 90% probably of the other shots are done on the 35 millimeter lens, which allows us to play. And then sometimes you're in close up on those shots, but then you still have that little bit wider field of view, and for the drones as well. And then just the landscape itself lends to that. I mean, you want to show that expansiveness and stuff of everything. So I think myself, the trickiness and some of that stuff was like what not to shoot. With flying a drone, it's like I could some of those places just stay there the whole day and just shoot drone stuff. Like it was endless.
Well, even so, Jonah, who was on our crew, was shooting B-roll for us, and he would just shoot we did these scenes where we just shot a flower for like hour and a half of like looking at this flower just fluttering in the, and it was it's so beautiful. Yeah, you get kind of lost in the like this sparse nature environment.
Yeah, there's that that kind of juxtaposition too between those wider shots, but then also those tight shots of different elements and stuff, and which is the beauty in nature too, where you can look at stuff and it's vast and beautiful, but there's also this crazy beauty when you go in super close and you look at just a flower, or you look at just a bead of water on a leaf, or there's a bit of both in that.
You're right.
And that was a lot of Jonah and a lot of Jaden, I guess, in the beginning.
Jaden as well,
Jaden did a lot of that. To double up on the shooting and stuff, I couldn't be capturing all the stuff. It was this other things were taking. There was ideas of that at the beginning. It just wasn't going to happen with the amount of
there's too much
dialogue and other things we needed to capture.
Thanks for joining the conversation about the Shepherd and the Sound film, community encounter, and immersive gallery encounter. If this is resonating with you, like this video and subscribe to the Presence Creative Arts YouTube channel. Please leave us a comment. We want to know what spoke to you, where you'd like to see this project travel next, and what you'd like to hear our team discuss in the next episode. For more Presence Creative Arts content that will unlock, connect, and transform you, visit PresenceCreativeArts.com to see our library of productions and where we'll be performing next. This is real. The eternal is real. We sincerely thank you for being here, and we will see you next time.